And at the same case, a person who rode the railroad was being subsidized at $1.90. And the bus riders make so much less than the railroad riders, but I think it's because the people who ride the railroad, of course, they see them as the middle-class voters they're trying to appeal to, so they try to appeal to the middle-class voters instead of appealing to the bus riders. So it's a huge conflict of interest. This is everywhere in the country. I mean, we're using the example of Nassau County, but everywhere in the country, railroad riders are heavily subsidized, whereas bus riders aren't. And so that's also something that, like, I feel like is a really good point, and people don't realize that, you know, they're throwing away money, and they always say, we're not going to, you look at the comments on you say, we're not going to support bus riders, we're not going to, you know, we're not going to throw our tax dollars down the drain supporting bus riders, but nobody has a problem doing that for people who ride the railroad.
But the people that ride the buses make the car go. You know, you've got these people up here, but they depend on the people down there to clean their buildings, to watch their children, do all this stuff. Without them,
there would be no supermarkets, no Walmarts, no nothing. You would close down the malls. Thing is, and I'm going to bring you up on a sore point, you're going to have to go multi-language also.
Right.
Because depending on what community you go to, you'll find Freeport, Glencoe, well, I can't say Brentwood, but there are certain communities that are 50% or more non-English.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I know we had to start small, but after a while, this
you
is
can
one
see how they
thing
feel about it. They didn't even let the Latino community know what was going on. They only did it in English.
Yes, you're right. I had to explain it to several people. They didn't even have a person there at the meeting over in what, Hilton?
Yeah.
Pick a good place, right? Spend all that money, right? And not one person was able there was only one other person there that spoke Spanish.
Right. Richard, were you going to say something?
I got very curiosity. The N22 came out with two new versions of themselves, the L and the X. When I look at the schedules, it just, you only get the N22Ls are only in the morning, and only the last one's at 7:10, at least at 7:10.
In the morning.
Yeah. There were no X's in the morning, but the party in Hicksville. They're only in the afternoon and evening, am I right?
Yeah, they're only during rush hour.
Did you say that that's illegal?
No, that's my leader.
Oh, that's your leader.
No, they see what they did with the 22. They have the 22, the 22A, the Express 22, and the Limited 22. But that's fine. That covers all your bases. Now, if they did on the 6, the same thing. If they had the local, and they have the Limited, which picks up in between only in the main sections, then you have the Express where people don't need to get off. They just want to go from A to B. They don't want to go through the alphabet. Now they got this 169, 179. They're making them stop at Meacham, and you have Westminster they stop at, and Hempstead Terminal. But before that, they were going from 179th Street to Westminster and Hempstead. And they were leaving like 50, 60 people, and the locals couldn't accommodate. But if you're going to do that, the Express is good if you do it right. If you put the Limited in there to pick up some of the slack, then that's perfect.
Right. Okay, so that's a presentation that we want to give. Do people think that it's good, that people will, the bus riders will, like, you know, find it valuable and motivating to join the union?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have.
Good.
As I said, I guess the next meeting will probably be a month or so. If you make some kind of a circular up, I'll make sure that they
like I said, I don't know where to send them. I know they're very unhappy.
Right. Well, no, please send them our way. Like, if people are unhappy, I can even give you just, you know, flyers or whatever to just give to them and say, Bus Riders Union is organizing, if you're unhappy, if you want to get involved. Because not only do we want to collect testimonies, but we also want to prevent further fare increases and just get people organized. The final...
Never mind fare increases, cuts.
Yeah, and fair, and cuts as well.
They don't need to cut. What they need is to
Yeah.
put more.
Organized.
They needed to put more before they started cutting.
So the second thing I just wanted, or the final thing I wanted to do is to
I don't have it with me.
Oh,
to
next
pick
time.
a date when to do the ride a bus for a day to the legislators. The next legislative session is June 19th. So that's when we were thinking of actually, calling on that action.
I would watch out right around that time. You're talking about, well, I'm going on vacation, number one. And number two, you're getting very close to what they call Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a politics day. And they're going to go for photo ops. I hate to really say it, but if you can get a hold of, like, Channel 12 News.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, no,
Channel 12
not Channel
is for
12.
them.
What, Verizon?
I don't know, but I know they put in the paper that people are ecstatic. They think it's all great. Who did they pay off to put that in there? I see that the ridership is not as...
I know they're not happy.
But the ridership seems to have dropped a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens historically when you change a service drastically or when you make it less convenient, the ridership will drop. I think that they won't see as big of a drop just because the economy's so bad, but that is what happens.
Yes.
So the reason why I picked June 19th is because that is the last session before the legislators go on recess for the summer. So if we wanted to do it, I think that we could get some media for it. We just have to talk about it a little bit more and hash out what we want to do. But the general call is, and we've done this in the past, is we want you to ride the bus for a day and to come back and to tell us what you think of the service. But what we want to do beforehand is, because once a nice bus gets order that, we're going to make sure the service is like spot on. We want to do before that is we want to already gather the testimonies of how difficult it is to take a bus from the various legislative districts, so that regardless of what they say, we can say, okay, well, we have 15 testimonies from that district of trying to get to Mineola, and all of these people say that it's impossible. And so just to really get that level of intricacy there.
My suggestion, I'll give you a prime example of that, would be Glencoe. How difficult it is now to go there. So pick a couple, maybe each one of us turn around and take a couple of senators. If they don't want to take all of the buses in one day, we'll break a few up. One will take one bus, one will take another. I'll pay for the buses for them.
Yeah. I think, you know what I even think we should do?
Money, let them pay for their own.
We should rate them, We should say, okay, well, this bus in this district, if you live in this district, the bus system is, grade C. You're going to find real trouble. If you live in Hempstead, the bus system is a grade A or whatever you want to give it. But it really depends on the district that you live in, and I think that we really should, do the color coding between Republican district, Democrat.
I think that's an excellent...
To be very honest, I'll tell you one that's very tough one is town of Oyster Bay. They blew the stack when they cut that town of Oyster Bay Fort Washington off.
Yep. They won't cut the 80 out, I
No.
found out today. Because one of the politicians' families lives on the 80.
Well, actually,
They
the
won't cut
70...
that
know who it is?
Yeah.
No, I'll find out. I don't know if I can, but one of the...
73 probably won't either, because we have Alphonse D'Amato's sister is on the corner.
Don't tell me where she lives.
Not on the corner. Next house from the corner. We also have the other Kate, Congresswoman, the one with the...
Oh, I know where Kate Murray lives.
No, I'm not talking about the other Kate. I'm talking about the other Kate, the Congresswoman that was, her husband was killed.
Oh, she's a nice lady.
That's what I mean. Her son actually lives on Strawberry.
Okay.
You ever see that big, heavy-set guy, very quiet, Bill Brewster?
I've seen his pictures because my son used to clean her office when he worked for
And
Stop and Shop and stuff.
that might be another route. We're talking about politics now, and politics is unfair, really.
Yeah, but I don't want to know.
So
what
how do
the-
you,
I don't wanna know
what would you
done.
suggest how we proceed?
Well, again, I think the next action should be, well, first, we want to continue to gather testimonies of bus riders, and we want to continue...
Advertise.
Yeah, we want to continue doing that.
You okay?
Oh, okay, great. This is a testimony. Great. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. So on May 5th, after I took the nice bus to Freeport line. I'm, you know, speaking as if I'm speaking.
Freeport bus station.
The Freeport bus station. I took the 2:30 p.m. N19 to Babylon. The new driver wasn't helpful, and he asked him where he could catch the N73, N74 by pointing to the N73, N74 schedule, and he thought I wanted the schedule. He couldn't understand me, so I asked him if he goes to Wantagh, and he pointed to the announcement. But Wantagh Avenue never showed up, so I had to ask a fellow passenger, and she told me I was in Massapequa Park. So I got off at Sunrise Mall at Pine Point and waited until 2:45, or waited for the 2:45 N19 at Freeport, which was an old driver, and he told me the Wantagh Avenue bus stop was Jackson Avenue. 1673 Hicksville had another old driver assisting a new driver. Even with the old driver assisting the new driver made a wrong turn at Periwinkle Road and Cornflower Road, and he'd be able to come back to Cornflower Road.
But
Thank you. Yeah, I think that we're seeing that problem a lot. I mean, I'm sure you guys are seeing that problem a lot, where some of the newer drivers are inexperienced and don't know what they're doing. That's what Pat said. It was funny because I talked to Pat and I was like, you know, Pat, like, are you guys struggling now with service cuts? Are you guys seeing any of your drivers getting fired? And she's like, oh yeah, some of them, but they're the new ones, so I don't care.
The newbies. We got, again, dispatch, I'm friendly with all of them since I started doing a lot of stuff, and they'll come over to me, and one of the dispatchers said that they got a letter, a complaint, that a new driver, she didn't know where she was going, she wasn't driving properly, was afraid to pull from the curb, didn't know how to open or close the back doors. So, and at the bottom of it, it says, what kind of drivers are you sending us? How can you train a driver on a 40-foot bus in a parking lot? Have you ever seen the MTA?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
Yeah.
Well, the east side, they had it all blocked off, and they've got these 40-foot buses riding around. How are you teaching them how to move these buses in small areas? And you've got 3 of them in there.
And
We're all
yet-
hysterical. What are you teaching these people?
well, at one time, they
It's
used
like
to
the
be taught.
blind teaching.
At one time, they used to be taught over in the Nassau Coliseum.
Yes, but they didn't want to pay the money.
They don't want to pay the money now.
Wow.
Either that or they weren't allowed because of whatever. I don't know.
I'd love to stay and chit chat with you guys.
Yeah.
Can you
Well-
email me all that's happened?
Yeah, definitely. And we
I
have.
kind of want to give it to the guys.
Before you go though,
sorry.
can you let us know what date would work for you for our next meeting? We're probably looking at.
Tuesday. Tuesday is always a good day. And
How is Tuesday, June 5th for everyone?
Nope.
6 o'clock.
It's my graduation.
what about next week? The
How
second
does
week.
Wednesday work?
Wednesday's good
I
for
would-
me. I get off at 12.
Wednesday. I would have to take off, but I believe I can make it work.
Are you sure you want to do that?
All right. Well, maybe the second Tuesday of June. I can pencil
I mean,
in.
you can have a meeting without me.
Well,
It's
why
just one
don't we
person.
do the meeting? I'll touch
Yeah.
base with Anita before the meeting, and we'll
June
do the
5th.
meeting anyway on Tuesday. Does that work for you?
Tuesday, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take off that day. It's
No,
not.
you don't have to take off. It's Tuesday, June 5th. You're off already.
Oh, wait.
Tuesday, June 5th.
Okay. Sure.
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, we have more.
Okay.
You
You have open today, though.
Oh, yeah. Only because I requested. It's okay. I can
Okay.
make it work.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Where do you work, Hicksville?
Actually, East Meadow.
I know the grocery manager. I hired him 20 years ago.
Well, they replaced, a new person there is a guy named Mark, I forget his last name.
Yep, I know. He's a young guy, or younger than me.
Anyway, it was nice talking with you guys again,
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
to see you.
Okay,
Hey,
thank you.
Bye, Richard.
I'll email you if I get any more complaints,
Okay.
if I have any more complaints.
Please do.
I mean, well, I have something to say before I go. One of the curious things about the N73